I found a very interesting book today called Tales and Parables of Sri Ramakrishna. And so I thought I'd share one of them. I picked it at random and read it and kind of really enjoyed it for a couple of reasons. It really reminded me of my adventure in spiritual life and its constant unfolding and the new things that I learned about myself and my inner world and the things I've seen change and transform in my experience of being, in my experience of life, and people's experience of me over the years. And so here it is from Ramakrishna, The Basic Faith. A man must have some kind of faith before he undertakes a work, right? You have to believe that something is there to be done or that you're going to get something from that work. Further, he feels joy when he thinks of it. So it has to be a faith that the work is going to have some positive effect on you. So you have to believe that it's going to give you some kind of positive effect and that positive effect is going to be beneficial and it brings a joy to you. Further, he feels joy when he thinks of it. Only then does he set about performing the work. Suppose a jar full of gold coins is hidden underground. First of all, a man must have faith that there is in fact a jar of gold in there. He feels joy at the thought of the jar. Then he begins to dig, and as he removes the earth, he hears a metallic sound. That increases his joy. That jar gives him even more joy. Thus his joy is ever on the increase. Standing on the porch of the Kali temple, I have watched the ascetics preparing their smoke of hemp. I have seen their face beaming with joy in anticipation of the smoke. That's what I really like at the end, that the final example is two hemp smokers, two pot smokers. Of course, they do it in a disciplined way. You know, these are the ascetics, the ganja smokers in the Himalayas, who are the wandering monks, the renunciates who live in the caves and depend on the charity of others for their survival, depend on God and God alone. And many of them will take a small hit of hemp in order to help calm the mind. Vivekananda says that it's actually a helpful practice, but you have to be careful. He says if you intoxicate your mind and then sit to do meditation, well, you're just fooling yourself, I'm afraid. But if you're just using it to calm your mind, which is what these men would have been doing here. But Ramakrishna uses that example several times about how hemp smokers are so happy to see each other. But this notion, it's so true. Spiritual life, I don't know, it's had lots of reputations, lots of people have different experiences with it. And for me, I don't know, it's been something I threw my life into, something I was very curious about. And I did have that faith that there'd be something in it. I didn't know exactly what. I didn't really have that good of an idea of what I was in for. I made a lot of decisions very quickly early in my life, and a lot of them I didn't understand. And so this monasticism, this being a monk, has been a real adventure for me in discovery, just discovering what it is to be human and discovering the limits of my mind and to discover what makes me me and to discern and to learn the inner world, the nature of our inner self, not just our reactive self, where things hit the senses and memories come alive and we react and go into the world based on those things, but to understand the inner relationship between mind and body and self, and to see clearly that one is not body, one is not mind, and that one's personality is really just a set of limitations and restrictions, right? That kind of squeeze pure love into a beggar's bowl. It squeezes pure love. It makes you use love in an egoistic way to repay people that you like and to get things that you want and to, butter people up to make them more favorable. All those different ways that we use love, we find are highly unnatural to us. Our natural self is equanimous, that we give equally and lovingly to everyone and everything around us by nature, and that as we diminish our ego, we get to experience our real self. As ego diminishes, we get to realize our real nature. And that's the part that to me, and I think that what Ramakrishna is pointing at here, is always a source of a greater and greater joy as you go along in life and do the work, do the practices, reduce the ego, learn to love like the original human being.